right. Jesse on fire. You guys, I apologize for that weird start and stop, but I am using OBS, which should provide an increase in the quality of the streams, because StreamYard is very simple and easy to use, but it is held together on the back end by bubblegum and popsicle sticks, would be my guess, from a coding perspective. Anyway, so we are going to talk about, in my opinion, the extraordinarily exciting announcement that the Epstein client list is about to drop on the world like an atomic bomb. And we'll also talk about UFC because Dana trashed Triple C. And I mean, I don't know how to read this other than to say he was saying Triple C straight. I mean, he just did. He said Triple C either. I mean, you can read it as he punked out or he was lying or both. Okay. I'll show you guys a clip. It's pretty wild, dude. I was like, damn. And then I'm going to show you why I know for a fact whether or not Triple C is making up the story about his eye, because my daughter had the identical injury 1 week ago. And the doctor told us it was the worst corneal abrasion he's ever seen, ever. So exactly the same thing that happened to Triple C. So we'll about his eye. We will discuss whether or not Giselle verifies his description of his symptoms. I'm going to bring her in. I'll literally just bring her in. Giselle, are you playing Fortnite? After the game that you're on, you need to come in here and talk to me so we can talk to the peeps, yo. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Dana on that Fetty, bro, he could see he was waving at somebody in the crowd after the poke. Choke dealer, what's up, man? Dana was more mad at himself, mad at the fight itself than what Henry did. What's up, bro? So, by the way, on the new software, I don't think that I can bring people's comments onto the screen visibly. So, for the record, for people who watch this in a later state, this was a live stream. I am responding to the audience sometimes. So don't yell at me. This is a different kind of thing. But anyway, okay, so look. So let's I want to pull up this Epstein list thing, because this is insane that this is actually happening. I just want to show you that it's real, and then we'll start with UFC, and then we'll go to that. Oh my gosh, man. Look at this. Boom. Epstein's client list is sitting on my desk. Pam Bondi. The U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi revealed to Fox News Friday that she is in possession of various documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, including his client list, and hinted that they could soon be released to the public. It's sitting on my desk right now for review. That was yesterday. That's been a directive by President Trump. So she's just like, straight up, this is happening. In 2019, Epstein, a successful financier, yada, yada, yada. We all know this, right? Now, here's the deal. As we get into this story more and that particular piece of PR nightmare drops on the world, I want to know, what are we talking about here, dude? Okay? Because I genuinely don't actually care. Okay? I don't care whether or not people had exchanged their email address and phone number with Jeffrey Epstein. The guy knew everybody. Okay? The list I want is of the people who are verified to have been victimizing children with Jeffrey Epstein and other forms of disgusting behavior that we should know about if they are public figures who are either in government or just, billionaires or whatever. It's like, listen, man, if that guy likes a little bit of, pullback, a little bit of, what's the right word? Resistance from his, sexual prey. And he also likes them young. Like, that's the kind of thing I think I want to know. You know, just as I'm evaluating whether or not to vote for a person, it's like, I really did like how you handled that podcast episode. But there's one thing that just keeps itching at me. I heard a rumor that your sexual preferences include children that you hurt. Is that something that's a description that you would agree with of yourself? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's awesome that you did that podcast, but you slide yourself into children. You know, it's like one of those everything else about you as a person ceases to matter at all. You know, well, listen, I grew up, I had both parents, it's like blah, 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 blah. No one cares. Okay. You're a kitty diddler. You should die. But Rick and something, thank you very much, dude. He says, what up, Jesse? Thumbs up on the channel growth. You're the man, dude. Thank you very much, dude. Whoops. I just lost the chat. There we go. All right. So here's Giselle. Okay, now first let me let me turn on your mic.
Look at my own.
That's your microphone. You can hold it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, by the way, do you guys want to know what Giselle was doing today? Anybody follow me on Instagram, Real Jesse on Fire? Because that's what she was doing. Just winning the Austin Open. Back-to-back, semifinal and final, 30-second submissions, triangle. Impressive. Anyway, but here's the... make sure you put the microphone away from your face if you're going to do that. No, I mean, you did a good job, but... okay, so Henry Cejudo, last night in the main event, he stops, and Dana White just lit him up, and then... he put out an image of his eye as well as
is that the photo you showed me today?
What the injury was. Okay, now why is this relevant? Why is Giselle sitting here? I will show you why she's sitting here. Aside from the fact that she's a little gangster that won the Austin Open.
I did.
She did it with one eye. That's why we're talking about this, because this probably sounds like
it looks a lot better now.
This sounds like I'm trying to like punk Henry Cejudo when I'm doing the exact opposite. Wait, where is it?
I have a better photo.
Okay, yeah, you pull it up. Anyway, so exactly 1 week ago to the day.
The scratch like this?
I mean, they're not going to really understand what this is, but like.
Okay. So I'll explain it. It's really easy.
Hold on, but let me tell them what happened to you first.
Okay, I want to tell them.
Go.
Once upon a time, me and Genevieve were like. Just
Genevieve is her middle sister.
Yeah. She took a toy horse. Do you want to see a photo of the horse?
So
you do want to see a photo of the horse.
No, you don't.
You do not have the horse on you.
If you want to show them the horse, you go get the horse.
I have a photo of the horse.
A photo of the horse. There's no point of reference for how big it is. It's irrelevant. Look, it's this. It's like this
the
big.
The size of this part of the microphone.
That's exactly what the size of it. And it's
hard.
hard.
Stop. It has 4 legs like horses.
Oh, wow. Hey, no, hang on. Are you sure it's not one of those 6-legged horses? That's really important that you know that.
So it took the front legs of the horse, because there's 2 in the front, 2 in the back. They went right into this eye on the 2 different sides and scratched it across.
So how can you be my offspring when you you look exactly like me? And then you have the same brain as me when I was your age. How come you don't know what is relevant information?
And then
go.
We went to urgent care because
they still have no idea how the horse got in your eye.
So my little sister threw a toy horse from across the room because she thought we were playing. The first time I blocked it. Then she threw it again.
As hard as she can.
This time it landed in my eye, just like.
And my middle daughter is a freak of nature, Olympic psycho that could do.
The first time
she could do 10 full hang pull-ups when she was 4.
The first time.
I swear to God, you shush me again.
The first time I threw it, it was coming in direct path of my eye, and then the second time I like actually hit it because I wasn't like paying attention. The second time. Okay,
so she went to the hospital. And
that's my phone.
What is your password? Okay. So they put...
No, it was not the hospital. It was urgent care. And they said it was the worst scratch.
They put dye in her eye so you could actually see the corneal abrasion.
You see?
That line down the middle is a massive corneal cut in her cornea. Okay. They said it was the worst corneal abrasion they've ever seen in their entire career.
I had 8 pop blood vessels. It was really bad.
Yeah, her eye looked horrendous. This is a week ago. She was bleeding out of her eye, crying all night. I couldn't be in the same room because her crying, and I knew there was nothing I could do about it.
This is what the good side of my eye looked like.
We're just showing you this because now you're going to look at Henry Cejudo's eye after, and then we'll listen to what he said about the ability to see, and then she could tell you what
This is the bad side of the eye. So yeah, I couldn't see. I also couldn't see. That's like part of it.
Giselle, you stepped on the punchline. That's what he said. He said he couldn't see. BMO, thank you for the super chat. I'm an officer in Houston. Our gym was getting redesigned. A bullet. Valentina is doing it. Apparently, she has her own flooring company. Sorry to interrupt. Wait. I'm an officer in Houston. Our gym was getting redesigned. The bullet Valentina is... Wait, she's a... Oh. She has a flooring company in Houston?
Who?
Valentina? That's wild. That is...
Okay, we're talking about my eye now. Okay.
So, good. Let's see your amazing skills at telling stories.
So my eye is pretty much healed. Okay, but then it gets better. 2 days later, after my eye was basically on its healing path, it was like almost healed.
Just talk to the microphone like you'd be talking to your friends. Stop being weird.
It was halfway healed.
Right. Oh yeah. Make sure you're in the shot.
Okay. Then this kid in my math class swung his arm while I was picking up my backpack and scratched my eye again, the same one. So we got rushed to urgent care because my eye, like, it was missing a third.
Yeah,
no, shut up.
Giselle, no one actually cares about your eye injury. It was missing
a third of the surface.
Giselle, listen, I'm serious.
And so I have scratches like this, like an X in my eye. Okay, fine. Now, why did you bring me here? Why am I talking?
No one actually cares about the details of your eye. You had a corneal abrasion that was really serious.
Yes.
Okay. How'd you finish your two fights today?
Triangles.
Both of them. How fast?
30 seconds.
30 seconds in both.
In both of them.
A combined 1 minute.
That's
1 minute.
That's what it just said.
That's probably why you don't know how to tell stories, because your dad's a retard as well. Okay. Where is this Henry Cejudo picture, dude?
Okay, it's on your phone.
No. I'm talking about of Henry Cejudo for the 100th time. Okay. Oh wait.
Yes, isn't it the photo that you showed me at the tournament of his scary eye?
Yeah, but that was in an article, dude.
I don't know.
Okay, so we got to find the picture of his injury. Hang on, that's not it. Henry Cejudo. Injury.
Why is your thing in all caps?
There we go.
Oh, that's exactly what my eye looks like.
Okay. So, this is his ball of eye. Okay. It looks like Giselle's eye. Literally, this injury happened 1 week ago. Okay. Her eye looked exactly like that.
Don't we get the photo again?
Oh my God, Giselle.
Okay, fine.
You are here to validate whether or not Henry Cejudo's description of his injury symptoms are true or not. And get in the shot, for God's sake.
Okay, well, you are literally like,
Jesus.
Hey guys, that's how.
Don't allow yourself to be so small that you get pushed out of the frame, yo. Okay, so is she yelling for you?
What?
She's with me live. All right. So Henry Cejudo says the following. Okay. He said, he took to social media to share his side of the story. He said he couldn't see out of this eye. He said he was seeing double, is what he said. Okay. He said diplopia.
That's exactly what I told Mama. We were walking out of urgent care.
That you were seeing double?
2 things. I saw 2 of her car.
Shut up. So he really was telling the truth for real. Okay, diplopia, soft tissue damage, corneal abrasion. And like I said, Giselle had the worst corneal abrasion. 2 different doctors said that to her, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, said that this is the worst they'd ever seen. He also shared a video on Instagram story saying, we wanted to finish this fight, man. Obviously, I got poked in the eye with 2 damn fingers. Typically, when I get poked, I'm good.
You got poked in both eyes?
It literally, yeah. I poked in 2 eyes at the same time. Yeah. Boop.
Were his nails long?
His nails?
He was in UFC, so
his nails.
Were they long? Like, was he long?
I know, but like, do you know like a lot of dudes who do their nails?
No, like I mean like natural nails. Natural
I
nails.
don't know.
Natural nails are sharper than acrylic nails.
No, but in UFC with the gloves on, the fingers are exposed, so
yeah,
the nails question does matter.
But they have to be short for UFC.
I'm not sure. I've heard of people that grew them really long, and then they sharpened them to a point, and then they tried to slice people's jugulars with them.
Like our cat.
Mm-hmm. It worked once. The UFC fighter survived, but he lost 2 quarts of blood.
That is actually so nice.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Do you know the guy's name?
Jeffrey.
That's right, Jeffrey. That's exactly what happened to. Okay, but after those 5 minutes were up, I still couldn't see anything, or it's not that I couldn't see. I was seeing double. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I saw 2 of Mom's cars, so she had to help me down the ramp.
So
you can ask her.
Yeah, here you go. He's saying that he was seeing double, and Giselle, with the exact same injury 1 week ago, is validating that is exactly what she was experiencing. So I thought he might have been, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, he didn't look that bad visibly when he was in the octagon.
Like this. So this is the 2 microphones. It was going.
Giselle got a cornea scratch, and apparently someone had like LSD on their fingernails. She's like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Like it was like blurry, and also I was like surrounded by rainbow-colored dinosaurs and unicorns that were flying.
I did. Those were in my dreams.
Really?
Yes.
You dreamt about rainbow unicorns?
Yeah, I also saw one because Georgia has stuffed animals, so I saw one.
Here, you guys want to see Giselle's 2 fights today? I would love to show you because
what happened to talking about eyeballs?
We're done. You have validated that he's telling the truth. That's what you were here for.
That's all I was here for.
But I'm gonna allow you to hang out and watch as we show them your 2 fights. I know it's always so hot in here.
Okay, why don't you get a fan?
Oh my! Wait, a fan?
Yeah.
Wait, why don't no one's ever thought of that, Giselle. It's like top-notch strategy that me and Mommy would have never thought of. Did you say a fan?
Yeah. Like,
dude,
one of, like the Chinese
did you
ones?
get a Neuralink?
No,
is that how you're coming up with such amazing ideas?
No, like the Chinese fans. Like this.
Oh, one of those little hand fans.
Yeah.
Dude, that's an even better idea than what I thought you meant.
No, because like you could get one of those like.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
You get one of those robots that go like this. Like this, and then you put the fan in its hands, and then it goes at you. I saw that in a dream too.
I am very confused by what on earth you're talking about.
Okay, so like.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Goes,
I'm talking about like why you would have thought that's funny.
No, it like would work.
If you're gonna be my kid, you are gonna need to get a better sense of humor.
It would work.
Giselle does
know buy you one.
when things are really funny, though. One time I was driving her to school, and I was super tired because Gabrielle and I had gone on a date the night before, and it was Friday morning, and I was like 6, so my brain was on mushland. And these kids were riding their bikes across the street, and they were like these two Indian kids that were on their way.
They're
not
Indian.
They weren't?
They were not Indian.
So I'm making up memories now, too. It is totally irrelevant what they were anyway. But one of them was riding this, like beach cruiser, like, turquoise bike. And it was so stupid. And so I just, like, sweet bike. What'd I say?
Sick bike.
Yeah, I was like, hey, sick bike, bro. And Giselle and her little homegirl that I was driving to school thought it was the funniest thing ever. Anytime they see anyone with a bike, they're all sick bike, bro. I am not like other fathers, apparently.
Oh, no.
Okay, hang on. We're waiting for these emails to come through so I can download these videos of Giselle strangling people.
You know you can like also like go on IBJJF and like go into the live and like
and then go find it. Well, you think that's gonna be faster?
I'm the second fight on the second fight. I'm the second fight on the mat.
That is true, actually.
Yes, I know.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Nancy Copeland, thank you very much. Giselle, she called you beautiful. What do you say?
Thanks.
No, that's inappropriate.
Oh,
she
gracias.
Really did.
Thank you.
Say thank you like you mean it. I'm serious.
Thank you very much.
You better switch your tone up, dude. Now, because you didn't sound sincere enough, I'm keeping whatever portion of this that we get, and you are getting none of it.
Okay, fine.
You need to live in gratitude.
Do you want to say it louder?
I just want you to say it like a real person sent that to you.
Thank you very much. Whoever's last name is Copeland. I don't remember things.
That is much better. And I want to be clear, Nancy, I'm not mocking you at all. I'm mocking Giselle. Thank you very much. Okay, so where the hell are the like? Come on, dude.
Okay.
Why aren't these going through?
Because you can't. Okay, you just emailed it to your iCloud. Why are you in Gmail?
Huh?
Mail.
Okay, listen, you don't get it.
Mail and Gmail are different.
Oh my God, are you serial?
And you're looking in Gmail for something you just.
I know, because Gmail, when you try to send files in the Gmail app on your iPhone, only allows them to be like 20 seconds long, where if you send it through the mail app, you can send them much longer. That's why I do that.
Why are you checking in your Gmail
Because I sent it to my Gmail inbox. The inbox can accept bigger things. It cannot send them.
Are you going to refresh?
I am refreshing right now.
Okay, then do it.
I heard things come through faster if you take a 12-year-ld's face and you paint the room with it, dude. No, just relax.
Go to your sent.
Believe me, I already did that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Good God.
Okay, are we just like not gonna go to YouTube and like scroll back?
Yeah, we probably should do that. Okay, so we're gonna get Giselle's first fight because she happened to have been on the.
I forgot my phone was open to this. It scared me.
What?
My eyeball.
That scared you, huh?
No.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Hyperpigmentation.
Right, here's Austin Open. You were on mat 5.
Cinco.
So we're going to go all the way back.
Are all the brackets over right now?
I believe so. All right, so here's this one is the first fight. You must be after this one.
Okay.
Wait, where is it?
There it is.
No.
That's not me. I wasn't the one getting choked.
Yours is so fast, maybe. Oh yeah, because here's them fucking around with your goggles.
Dang. I had to wear goggles, but they didn't let me wear the goggles.
No, you were supposed to wear goggles per the doctor's orders, and they said you can't because IBJJS is very serious about their
eyewear.
just like, hey, that's not allowed. All right, so here you go. Here's Giselle's semifinal match, you guys. Boom.
Can we make it full screen?
Why can't I hear anything? No, I can't make it full screen because then we can't see you.
Okay, do you have to see yourself?
No, I want to see you. I have to make sure that it doesn't look messed up in OBS. We're live streaming, yo.
Oh.
As much as I would love to prioritize your viewing experience, we have a lot of people watching.
My eyesight is not perfectly better, so.
And got her.
What? I did a flip.
Oh, geez, I need to hide us. There you go. One down, son. One down. One down.
Giselle Caroline Merle has entered the final.
Okay, so now let's see where your final is. Scrolling along here. Wait,
I think it's this one.
that's too far away.
No, you were right. It was about to start it. It had like my name up on everything and stuff.
Hang on.
Why did you go an hour ahead, bro?
Is that an hour ahead?
Yes, this mat started 7:15 hours.
Okay, hang on. So, okay, yeah. You're right, actually.
This kid.
You're actually right in this case.
There's my name right there.
Yeah, I know. This is the first fight. You
okay,
dimwit.
Stop touching it. Stop touching it.
Stop touching it. You're going to fast forward it 5 seconds at a time through like, you understand they still had to do their semifinal fight, right? Like you're going to go through all those fights? Good God.
Trust the process.
Okay, no, here.
No, where are we? It's loading.
At the very least, I am going to hide this so everyone else doesn't have to watch you do that. Now, you can go find it. Okay, you can go find it, little child. Good Lord.
Okay. So, once upon a time, there was a unicorn.
If anybody was like, they're all, God, I came on to hear what Dana said about Henry Cejudo. It's like, I'll get to that, I promise. I really will. But I think the priority here is showing you guys Giselle winning the championship via Oh, that's their fight right there.
I know. I know.
So every single time that Giselle fights ever, I always make sure that she's afraid of her opponent as much as I can.
Yeah, he scares me.
But I watched this fight right here, like the one that we were just watching, which was the two girls in the semifinal. And I've literally never in my entire career fathering and parenting her through jiu-jitsu, I've never been absolutely 100% certain she was going to win a fight, but I was absolutely 100% certain she was going to win this fight. Because I watched 1 minute and I just was like, their game is identical and Giselle's is just much better.
Here it is. I found it.
Yeah. Look at what you did, dude.
Thank you. Thanks.
Here's Giselle in the championship.
Hide us, bro.
You relax, okay? You relax.
No, don't.
Whoops. How were you doing that 5-second thing?
Arrows.
All right, here we go. Giselle.
Hide us.
Going for gold.
I won this one. Oh, I won this one too. Just so you know.
Ooh, that's tight.
I think I hurt her jaw.
Oh boy, that's tight. Woo! Hey, whose kid is that?
Oh, it's me.
Whose kid is that?
Mr. Pink.
Give her that gold. Give her that gold.
Mr. Pink.
Excellent job, Giselle.
Muchísimas gracias.
Now,
How good is my Spanish?
your contributions have been fantastic.
Thank you. Here's your microphone.
You really over-delivered there.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Can I leave?
What?
I can leave.
Yes, you must leave. Not you can leave, you have to leave. But thank you very much. Anyway, so Cejudo's telling the truth is the point of that entire thing, you know? So, let's go ahead. Of course, my daughter's school. I'm getting caught up on some chat now. Oh my God, you guys. No. Why didn't anyone tell me that, you know, the Piscean rat is bored and is now gone? Somebody with my cell phone, you guys should have called me. Jesse, the Piscean rat is going to leave if you don't kick your daughter out. You know, your daughter. I feel like if I had to pick between Piscean rat and my daughter, how am I going to decide? Oh, man. You know, you feel like by the time you're my age, it would be easy to make decisions on who's expendable and who's not. But then you find yourself asking, when it comes to my channel and the love of my life and my life's work, who do I prioritize? Piscean rat, the random person in my chat who I have no idea who they are. They could be a 95-year-old woman or a 15-year-old boy. They could be 300 pounds. They could be 11 pounds. I have absolutely no idea. I know nothing about them. Or my daughter. You know? You'd think that'd be an easy decision, but it's not. There was a minute there I really thought about, you know, getting rid of Giselle for a Piscean rat. Oh, man, dude. Jeffrey Tully, what's up, dude? Thank you for the super chat. Could you watch one of my fights and react to it? I'm a 24-year-old amateur MMA fighter with cystic fibrosis. I will be the first UFC fighter with... Listen, man, That's fucking awesome. And I will absolutely do that. If you shoot me an email to email me a link to your fight. If we don't get it to this one, just email it to me. I'll star the email, and then in a future one, if I forget, if we don't have time today, just remind me, and I'll play it. But I will definitely do that. Jeffrey Kelly, I ran out of text. I would also like to say, keep up the good work. I'm a huge fan. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate you. Kim Walter says, ditch the rat. I mean, thank you. Absolutely was going to ditch the rat. Okay. Hecka nice. That is a solid username. So, yeah, let me pull up this thing of where Dana, I mean, you have to actually see it. It's pretty nuts, dude. He literally is like, well, here are the options. Either, Henry Cejudo pretended to be hurt because he wanted to get out of there, or he pretended to be hurt because he thought he had the fight won, or he pretended to be hurt and said he couldn't continue because he hates me and wanted me to get booed out of the building, or in this incredibly long shot, very low percentage, in shockingly low percentage that this is possible, but I don't know, or maybe Henry couldn't see. Maybe. I don't know. Unlikely, but maybe. And if you think I'm exaggerating about that, watch. Let me pull it up. Check this out, dude.
Last night at UFC Seattle, Song Yadong defeated Henry Cejudo via technical decision after the fight was stopped early due to an accidental eye poke. Cejudo informed the officials that he was unable to see, leading to the decision. Following the fight, Cejudo called for a rematch. However, Dana White is not interested in that idea whatsoever.
Start off with the main event, obviously not the way you want to see any fight end. Did you know, as Henry's getting to minute 4, minute 5 with the eye poke, that he's probably not going to be able to continue?
Wait,
yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Do you think he was kind of like gaming the 5 minutes to see if it would come back, or do you think he was just desperate to continue? What do you think of his decision making in the moment?
I have no idea. I'll let him answer all those questions. Song looked good, and only he can answer those questions.
It was a good competitive.
I don't know if he thought, if I stop here, is this a DQ and no contest, or I don't know what he was thinking, but. Or maybe he can't see.
Obviously, Henry and Song seem like they want to have the rematch. Is that kind of what you're thinking, that they should run that one back? Or?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Why is that?
I just don't want to see it again.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I thought it was a good fight leading up. It
You want to see it again? We should probably do it in a couple months.
It depends on the eye, right?
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo responded to Dana and encourages.
So, yeah. In case you guys missed that, right? He had two options for what's going on. Maybe he thought, he had the fight won. Maybe he thought whatever else, other thing, that he was making a strategic decision where he was not actually hurt. And he's like, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he couldn't see, distant third option. Definitely not what actually happened, because he definitely could see and he's definitely lying. You're like, I mean, the question is not, in my opinion, whether or not he could see. The question is, at what point can you justify not continuing in a main event fight? What's an injury that's acceptable? It's like, because an eye poke, no one knows how much that hurts. No one knows whether or not you can see. I mean, it's as simple as that. And what I can tell you is that I was commenting this to someone earlier that I was saying, like, I got a really serious corneal abrasion in probably 2010 or like 2011. And it's one of the top 3 most painful things that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And I'm doing top 3 intentionally because I don't want to do the thing I do where I'm like, it's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, and say something insanely hyperbolic where you just think that I'm saying like it hurts really bad, but I'm telling you like I'm doing the top 3 because I'm telling you it's actually for real top 3 most painful things I've ever felt in my life. It hurt so much, dude. I had just gotten PRK on my eyes, so like instead of LASIK, they have another procedure where they don't cut the flap. It's called PRK. I did that because they told me if I was gonna be, like ever planning to take like impact to the head, then I should do PRK because so there's no risk of the flap getting dislodged, whatever. But I just had that procedure done. It's much more it's much more rudimentary, and it also sucks healing from. So I just gotten that done. I end up in Arizona for spring training, and somebody literally just accidentally put a fingernail straight through my eye at a club at like 2 a.m. too. And my skin, the entire level of top layer of skin that sits on top of the eye was crumpled in the corner of my eye, just skinned it, None of my friends had any idea what happened, and we were in a super loud club. So, am I going to go around, find my friends? Someone hurt my eye. George, you guys, my eye, it hurts. My eye hurts. We need to get out of here. So I just bounced, my eye was I couldn't stay. I was in too much pain. And so I just literally just left, and I caught an Uber back to our hotel. And I remember when I got home, I called Gabrielle, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep. Like there's just water literally just pouring out of my eye. Like, I don't know how there's that much water in your body to tear that much, I couldn't sleep all night. Did not sleep for a second. It hurt that much. And then I went to urgent care the next day, and they gave me like 50 Percocet. I remember that because that was 2011, and in 2011, I was down for some perks, man. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, damn, that hurt, but it's like kind of almost worth it. That's how fucked up the life of a painkiller opioid person is. Like, seriously. I'm not joking about that. I was like, damn, jackpot. 50 oxys, 50 oxycodones covered by my insurance. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus, scratch the other eyeball, man. Fucking crackheads. But that's seriously what happened. But my buddy, it was like it was basically it was a spring break trip, spring training trip. So I didn't want any of my friends to have to ruin one of the entire days and go to urgent care with me. But my buddy Jesse stayed back while they were all pool partying it with all these chicks and having a good time. And he went with me to urgent care, and I will love him forever for that. I would have loved him forever anyway, but I always remember that with that story. But anyway, Giselle, when that happened to her, I knew exactly how much it hurt. And so when she was crying over and I couldn't be around her because it's like, I can't help. I know how much pain she's in. I would take it if I could, but I can't. And so it was horrifying, dude. When you know your kid is actually really hurt, it's awful. Awful. Yeah, I know. That's a huge script. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, 50? What the fuck, man? 50? For an urgent care trip? You know what I mean? But he put that dye in my eye too, and it was it wasn't like that infrared thing. It was just you could just see it with your naked eye. And I remember taking a picture of it and sending it to Gabrielle, and there's just a gash down the middle of my eye. Shit hurts bad. Yeah, I got both. Yeah, Jason, I got both my eyes done PRK at the same time too. It's everybody does, but. What I'm saying is in the very short, I was maybe I don't know, probably it was between 1 and 2 weeks after I'd had it done. I took a shot to the eye and it just tore the entire skin off. Azad Haji, thank you very much. Hey, Jesse, do you have any shows you'd recommend? Oh, yeah. Fuck. Yes, I do. I know you're credible because I've watched some of your recommendations. Bro, I've got shows for days. So Severance is we're in the middle of season 2 of Severance. Severance is a phenomenal show on Apple TV. The new season of Yellow Jackets is out now too. Now these are I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, well, duh, Yellow Jackets and duh, Severance. But this is for people who have not watched those shows and who, like, for whatever reason, like, heard maybe they're good. You need to watch those shows. They're fucking awesome. And those are both in new seasons. Blue-Eyed Samurai, I recommend literally every single time we talk about this. That's the best show. That show will, like, from looking at it and just thinking, like, will I like this show, to how much you actually like that show is going to be the biggest, an enormous amount of space, because you're just going to look at it, you're all, it's anime, like anime fucking show about a samurai chick. How is this going to be good? And it's so fucking good. Every single person that's watched it has, like, Critical Drinker made a video about it. I had already seen it, but he made a video. He's like, this show is unbelievable. Every one of my friends that watched it had actually gone out of their way to comment about it afterwards to me. They're like, bro, that show, I was like, I told you. Your video was just took down. Nah, I took my video down. Oh, it's Two-Eyed Samurai because of this. That's why I came back here. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so PRK sucks, dude. Sabers, like, we did it because we do it because you have to, because the doctor's like, hey, do you ever want to spar again? And you're like, I mean, I wasn't even fighting then, and I'm like, it was like in between. I'd done all the kickboxing. I hadn't, I had long ways until I started jiu-jitsu. It doesn't matter. I wasn't doing anything, but it was like, it wasn't like I had like permanent, like, oh yeah, I definitely never want to kickbox or anything ever again. So it was like, I felt like I had to make a commitment to, like, never do it. And I'm like, fuck that. I'll just do the PRK. PRK sucks. It takes 2 weeks for your eyesight to, like, get dialed in, where LASIK, they do the thing. You don't feel it. They give you a fucking Valium. You fall asleep and you wake up and you have 20/15 vision. It's amazing. Taboo season 2 in the works. Dude, Taboo is amazing. I've recommended that show a million times. There's only one season, but it's awesome. The best single season of any show ever is True Detective season 1. It's its own, like, it's an anthology series, which means each episode or season is its own story. In this case, season. So the first season of True Detective is a fully enclosed story. Like, you don't need to, like, commit to watching all the other seasons. It's its own thing. The other seasons don't have anything to do with it. And especially, Vikings is great too. But what's crazy about True Detective is that, here, I'll show you guys I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen True Detective, but if you've never seen True Detective season 1, that is absolute fucking, don't ask anybody for show recommendations. Don't think about any movies. Don't think about fucking anything. Just go watch True Detective season 1. You're welcome. Like, drop every other thing that you were potentially going to watch. But what's crazy about it now is it was done, like, let me see what year. This is actually kind of important for the point that I'm going to make. True Detective season 1 year. 2014. Okay, so season 1, okay, was done in 2014, right? Watch this. Pizzagate scandal timeline. So 2016, okay? So the True Detective season 1 was done 2 years before Pizzagate, okay? That is incredibly important for anybody who knows anything about for people who know Pizzagate. You know what I mean? Like, if you know it, I'm not talking about, like, you heard some shit, whatever. Like, people who've actually looked into it and really know the credible pieces of it that make any smart person extraordinarily suspicious of certain people. I personally have not seen anything that is very compelling for me on the, like, Clintons directly in that, like, in Pizzagate. The Clintons directly, I didn't see anything in there where I was like, ooh, they're dirty. But that's not the case for a lot of other people. There's a lot of other people that I won't name by name because I know I'll get struck or whatever. But there are other people where you look and you're like, bring in the most compelling person in the world and have them try to explain that to me. Tell me how this is not the behavior of a satanic cult that's literally putting it in your face on purpose. Anyway, but True Detective Season 1 has all this symbolism in it that when people watched it the first time had no idea what it was. You know, they're kind of like, oh, you know, it's laden throughout the season. But if you go back and watch it now, if you went down that Pizzagate rabbit hole, and again, this happened 2 years before it, you're going to go, whoa. Like whoever wrote True Detective Season 1 is an insider that knew shit. You know what I mean? Like there's just no two ways about it. This is not like, to be crystal, this is not like rando conspiracy theory. Like this is a fact. Now, what I mean is, this guy knew some shit. It's possible. What I mean is it's a law enforcement person who knew about these symbols from cases of actual, you know, any of that SRA stuff, right? And so it could be as simple as that. Or it could be a Hollywood person who's like an actual insider on that stuff, you know, with direct knowledge, and they wrote this story. And here's another really crazy thing about that show is, did I blow a Smurf recently? That's funny. Yes. Anyway, but what's also really interesting about season 1, I actually can't tell this without stepping on some of the, I'll just say this. For people who have not watched it yet, just kind of go like this a little bit. But for people who've watched it, when you get to the end of the season, which is, again, the best season of any show ever, I want you to go back over the previous episode and a half and then ask yourself, did it seem like we were going somewhere else? And then they kind of just went, you know what? This is how we're going to go ahead and wrap this story up. And it just kind of implies maybe all of this stuff, which subsequently ended up being what people who followed the whole pizza thing, you know, thought. But we're going to actually just kind of clearly throw an audible. Like I'm telling you, they shot a new ending for that season. It's still a great ending. But if you really watch it and you watch how it all plays out and how calculated they are with the entire story, and then you think about how they wrapped it up, you're like, wait, but what about all of that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, what about all this other stuff that you set up? And it's like, well, yeah, maybe. And you're like I said, don't let this talk you out of the season. The season is phenomenal. My opinion, someone read that script or saw the final and they were like, no, we got to change the ending. It can't have these people in it. You know, these people that you've been implying are in it this whole time because we know who you're talking about in real life. Please tell me why no Russian fighters, grapplers have ever been against each other. Imagine Khabib versus Islam. Who's better, the teacher's son or the people? I think the reason why you don't see a lot of guys from the like Balkans or Eastern Europe in general against each other is because they have, this is a theory, is because they have such strong international fan bases that they try to kind of like put them on the same cards so that they can get all of those guys watching the same cards. And there's absolutely no reason you would ever want two guys from that region that those people are going to root for rooting, you know, going against each other because like someone has to lose. It's like, it would just be weird. In my opinion, it'd be weird strategy to try to build on existing fan bases for Russian fighters that they want to showcase. It makes more sense to put them against other people. You know what I mean? Super chat question. Dude, what the fuck? Why won't this pull up? Okay. Jesse, should your Niners pay Purdy? Dude, man, I don't feel like I have a really strong handle on like which NFL players are like great $200+ million investments. You know, the only position that I feel kind of like, all right, I feel solid on this, that they are in fact worth those contracts in that is quarterback for sure. Because just look at Miami this year, right? Like Miami has great offense, then boom, they lose Tua, and they literally go from like one of the toughest offenses to deal with to like scoring 4 touchdowns in 5 games. And then Tua comes back and they're right back where they were. And you're like, Jesus. But man, I don't know, dude. Like the Niners had a really bad year. You know, I mean, like, they went from the Super Bowl to, I can't believe this is insane. My past self, if my like past self could see me ask not know the 49ers final record this year, that would just be like, okay, this is like a different timeline. Because I was that insane about the 49ers for a long time. I think they won like 5 games or 6 games. Yeah, 6 games, 6-11 from the Super Bowl. I mean, that's wild, dude. It just came out of nowhere, you know? Some bad injuries, but nonetheless. All right, so let's see what they're talking about for his contract. Make a decision on the Brock Purdy contract timing. In the past 2 offseasons, 49ers have had significant star player contracts. Ayuk re-signed for 4 years, $120 million at the end of August. And look at this, dude. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. $120 million for 4 years, right? And you're like, all right, what were your stats in 2024? After all that, bro, you know, $120 million, okay, $120 million, and you did 374 yards and 0 TDs. 0 TDs. 374 yards. That is insanity, dude. And I had him on my fantasy team. He was not injured the entire season. He wasn't doing anything when he was healthy. He was out for a little while. Injury does not explain that season. But let's see about because he would probably get like a max contract or something. Or I mean, I don't even know easier said than. You got a quarterback whose expected market value is $55 to $60 million a year. $60 million a year. Dude, that is insane. Okay, hang on. So let's just like look at what Brock Purdy's like lifestyle is, like the lifestyle change that he is in store for. Okay, so right now, let's see what he is doing. Oh my God, bro. Last year, he was making $1 million. He was making $1 million last year. Look at that. He made $1 million last year. And this year, he's projected to make 5.3. Now, that's a big, big jump right there. $5 million, you know, from what, like just for like a regular person. But $1 million a year to $50 million a year is like a lifestyle change that you can't even wrap your brain around. Okay. I know, like, I'll put it to you like this. Like $1 million a year, you're not a wealthy person. You live real good. $1 million a year, you live real good. You don't ever worry about, if you're smart, you don't ever worry about money and you just do whatever you want. You know, you have some nice things. I mean, I guess anybody could turn any amount of money into either a retarded like shit show or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, making $1 million a year, you're not like a wealthy person. Like, not like, dude, making $50 million a year, 50 fucking million. It's $1 million a month, dude. I mean, or I'm sorry, $1 million a month, $1 million a week. Okay. If you get paid every 2 weeks, your gross check is $2 million every 2 weeks. That is insanity, dude. What do you even do? It's a fun thought exercise. What do you even do with that? If you go from like, you're living the way that, I mean, honestly, before the $1 million one, he was making, okay, he came out in 2022. His cap hit was, cash breakdown. Okay, so in 2022, he made a total of $1 million. 2023, he made a total of 1.9, and in 2024, he made a total of 2.8. Okay, so it's a little bit more, but still. Oh, dude, don't get me wrong. Listen, Caleb, don't get me wrong. Let me make myself big for this. I am not at all, in any way, downplaying $1 million a year at all. Like, I'm just saying that, you know what? Actually, I'm probably projecting on this because, like, what I'm saying, okay, like $1 million a year is about 80 grand a month, ballpark. After taxes, whatever, let's say you bring in 50 or something, right? 50 grand a month. Well, let's say that you wanted to buy a $4 million house, right? Like, a person that I think of as like really balling can very easily buy like a $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million house. Like, you know, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people who are balling. You can't do that on $1 million a year. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's a very, very different, like, it's just very different. Like 50 versus 1. That's honestly the only point I'm making is how much different 50 million a year versus 1 is. You know, it's like you just get into this whole different universe because you're like, what are you going to, if you're like a regular person, you know, like if you're like a regular person, like if it was me and Gabrielle and all of a sudden we were making $50 million a year, like I'm going to tell you right now, I will tell you exactly how this would go. I would be like, I have no idea what to buy. With that much money, I'd be like, what are we doing? You know, like you buy your dream house. Cool. Okay. You can, if you have a contract that guarantees you not just the $50 million a year, but the additional 50 and then another 50 and another 50, you know, you could just buy whatever house you want. You buy a $25 million house if you wanted to. So you go move into that. You're like, all right, here's my $25 million house. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice. Azad, thank you for the super chat. Good, sir. Hey, do you think NBA being a little too woke hurt? Oh yeah. Hurt their ratings because their viewership is really low right now. For 100% sure. Absolutely for sure. There is absolutely no, there's no money in having people know your politics except in very specific instances. Or at the very least, that's not what I meant to say. You can't really maximize what you can be, like your business or you as a person, whatever, if people know your politics. And especially a thing like the NBA, which the reason why it impacted them so negatively is because it doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right. I feel like we've all made a pretty like decent social agreement that it's like pro sports for all of us, you guys. You know what I mean? Like this is like an American institution. And maybe the right feels that way more than the left. I don't know. But for sure on the right, it's like, this is part of being American is we watch football on Sundays. We have a team that we root for and we care about this. You know, we all watch the NBA finals. You know what I mean? It's like we all watch the NBA finals. You could walk into any building, you know, that week, talk to any stranger. You don't give a shit what their politics are. And you could be like, dude, did you see Jordan hit that shot last night? And everybody could talk about it. It's like, one of the only kind of like few universal things that we all do together. Politics doesn't come into it. So to poison that well, okay? Like I hear a lot of people, and the way that they kind of characterize that phenomenon was they're like, I just don't want to think about politics when I go watch the NBA, NFL. I just want to tune out and watch sports. And that's true, but it's deeper than that. Okay? The reason why you boycott it is because they've invaded something that you like that's important to you. You know what I mean? Like pro sports are important at a certain level to most people. I mean, maybe not most people, but a lot of people. It's like, it's a really fucking big deal. You know, you wait for your team to play on Sundays, or we wait for your college team to play. You look forward to it all week. Like, people do shit they hate all the time. You know, they go to work in the morning. They do something they don't like all day. What gets them through their life is things that they can look forward to. And it's like pro sports is a huge part of that, you know? So for them to just invade a thing like that and go all in, you know, fuck the MAGA Republicans, you know, in this kind of slimy, indirect way. Yeah. I mean, I have absolutely no doubt that is why their numbers are the way they were, especially when it's Black Lives Matter. And I'll tell you what's really fucked up about that situation too, is I've been paying a very close attention recently to how, and I mean, this is going to sound very rudimentary because obviously this is always going on, but how differently people are viewing things, you know? And obviously that's a thing that's always going on. This isn't some kind of like revelation that people see things differently, but I tell you what I mean. It's like, so specifically with the Black Lives Matter thing, right? Actually, I don't know how to tell this story well without telling you something that happened this week that I saw as like context. Okay. So this week I saw this story that in Maryland, lawmakers were trying to pass a law that was going to put condom vending machines into elementary schools. Okay. And the reason that this was a story is because this Republican politician was doing a speech about it. And she's like, this is what we're talking about. We want to protect our children. We want them to stay innocent as long as possible. Why on earth would you want to put a condom machine in an elementary school? This is disgusting, whatever. And so, of course, I have 3 daughters. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with these people? Condom vending machines in kindergarten? What the fuck are you doing? Okay. Because in my mind, there are conversations we can have. And it's like abortion is the most contentious one of all. But I'm telling you, as a person who is not a fundamentalist in either direction on anything, there is a very strong argument on both sides. I understand that both sides feel so strongly that they're right, that like they can't recognize, but just trust me, this is at least a conversation that people are reasonable to be having, regardless of which side they're on. It's like, you have a good argument over there, and there's a really good argument over here. Bottom line. At least, I mean, you know, early stage. Okay? And then there are these things that people try to do where you're like, there's no fucking conversation here, man. Okay? Like, going out of your way to sexualize children in schools is wrong. Okay? And any kind of effort that you're doing to like streamline my kid knowing about all kinds of weird shit. Like when that guy got popped in the, by Project Veritas, he's like, you know, it's queer sex and we teach our children about it in the school and they're playing with butt plugs and lube versus spit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, so did you tell the parents? No, I didn't tell the parents. Why would I need to tell the parents? It's queer sex. And I remember just being like, butt plugs and spit versus lube, bro. If and he's a man, right? If my daughter was in one of these things and he's teaching them about queer sex, which includes the insertion of plastic inanimate objects shaped like anatomy inserted into them, dude, do I really need to have this conversation with you about why this is not a conversation to be had at all? It's like, you should be in prison. You shouldn't be watching, like running, you know, smiling ear to ear as like the president of, you know, an upscale private school in Chicago. Like, you know, you're some kind of hero, because you're corrupting the brains of America's youth. You know, I didn't have anyone to talk to when I was growing up because I was gay and confused. And you're all, okay, that sucks. But it worked out though, right? Like, you know who you are now, right? Huh? Like, you know who you are now. Feel pretty confident in your skin. You look like you feel pretty fucking comfortable in your skin. Well, whatever. You're like, but so your response to your childhood of being confused or whatever is you're like, I'm just going to literally just lube up all these toys and I'm going to show them how you shove them, you know, just shove them, spit versus lube, and how, you know, sometimes it gets real built up and you shoot it real far. It can go over his head. It's really funny, you know. And they're like, what will go over his head? He's on my jizz, you know, when I'm finishing on the guy. Or in most cases, actually, they're finishing on me. And you're like, okay, guys, this is, what the fuck are we talking about? You know what I mean? It's like abortion, there's a conversation to be had there, and then there's this shit, right? And so, like, once you've seen stuff like that, it, you know, at least for me, I'm like a hair trigger on these stories. Like, oh, condom machines in fucking kindergarten. And I'm like, what? That sounded so crazy, in fact, that I went and looked it up to see, like, okay, what are they even saying? Why would they do this? Okay, well, so the reality of what was actually going on is they had passed a law that outlawed condom machines in schools, public schools, K through 12. Okay, so there's a law that had gotten passed that said no condom distribution in schools. Okay, so this is coming from a group of advocates that were like, look it, okay, it's America. As much as you guys think it's just standard procedure that teens are all going to be having sex with each other, okay, that's not our families, and we don't feel comfortable with you giving them protection so that they could safely do it, when at our house we're like, you are not doing that, okay? You're waiting for marriage. Totally reasonable position to have. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. A reasonable position to have. We don't want you distributing condoms to, and of course I'm talking about like high school kids, right? Like, of course, we're talking about high school kids that this was like, you know, in response to. So as much as I personally completely fucking disagree with that, like I don't think there's any reason why public schools should have anything to do with sexual intercourse in children at all. Like, no, don't hand them out fucking condoms. Okay? Like, you don't get to, like, and the reason, again, you don't get to decide what's acceptable in terms of premarital sex in my family. Okay? And as much as you're like, oh, no, we're not doing that, we're just giving them that. No, that's actually exactly what you're doing. Okay? And even if I agreed with the position you're taking, that's not your fucking job. You teach my kid math and science. Okay? That's your fucking job. But again, nonetheless, there's an argument on the other side that would be reasonable. Okay. So the point is that when they got that law passed, and it's like the law reads no condom distribution ages K through 12. And so what the actual thing going on in Maryland is they've got an advocacy group that is doing a campaign to repeal that law. And so the way that it's being covered by the right-wing outlets is they want to give condoms to kindergartners. It's a fucking lie. I don't like that shit, dude. I don't like that shit. I'm equal opportunity on call out your fucking bullshit. Because that's just, I mean, Gabrielle and I were talking about it last night, whether or not that constitutes a lie. She's like, it's not really a lie. And I was like, it's not a lie. She's like, it's not a lie. Like, they are going to remove a law that keeps those out of the kid. I'm like, right. But there's no one trying to put condom vending machines into elementary schools. The people who are doing this are trying to do this for high schools. And the only way that they can make it even look like it's elementary school is they point out the fact that the current law that got written is K through 12, and they're trying to remove that law. That's a lie. You know what I mean? And like, again, I want to be crystal clear about that's all the left does. That's all they do. I mean, literally, that's all they do. To the point where if I ever ran into a real story about something that they were, harping about, I wouldn't believe it, because I've caught them in lies that are much worse than that one. Literally every single time that I've ever looked into any narrative that they're running for the last 8 years. So their credibility's gone. But that's one of the things that I absolutely hate most about the left is that I can't fucking stand that. And I really don't like it when they do it either. Because I'm like, I like to feel like I'm on the good guys team. And that shit looks like bad guy shit. The exact shit that I fucking, spent all that time promoting this dude to get out of there. And I don't like that at all. Especially, I'll tell you exactly why. So the main reason that I take it personally that the Democrats are always putting the race card, oh, you guys are racist. You guys are racist. You guys are racist. You guys are racist. Don't you know all these MAGA Republicans, they want to put you in the ground. They want to hang you from a tree. The reason I hate that so much is because it's actually one of the most disgusting forms of manipulative racism ever. Because what they're doing is they are intentionally taking what they know is this generational trauma, or at the very least, like the story that black people that are tell themselves and what the racism they actually experience. And it's like, let's take advantage of that pain and that insecurity that they all feel. And let's convince them that all those other guys that are on the other side of the ticket are all racist, and that everything that they do, institutional racist, it's all set up to shut you guys down and keep you in a box forever. They're manipulating them using fear and generational stuff. They're using that to scare the shit out of them to maintain their votes and make them think that their neighbors hate them. Like, that's fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually really fucked up. That's why I hate them. Okay. Well, this is exactly the same. Like, this is exactly the same. Like, you're trying to convince me now that these people over here want to give condoms to my elementary school children. Well, that's not fucking true. Okay? It's just one stupid tweet. I'm just going to point out, though, I don't fucking like it. You know what I mean? Oh, shit, I missed super chat. Sorry. Why do so many people dislike Caitlyn Clark when she just minds her business? Because she's white. I mean, I'm not even being hyperbolic. The reason that they hate Caitlyn Clark is because she is the way that the WNBA blew up, and she's white. And so these wokester weirdos who are in many cases black, but all women, many of them gay. Okay. So just to put that, the reason that that's relevant has nothing to do with them being black, gay, or women. In and of itself, it just demonstrates that they are woke people that buy into the cultural ideology that that group generally kind of lives by. And in case you guys haven't noticed, not exactly a very warm and fuzzy group of people, and so they love to jam every single story that comes through into this box that makes no sense, where they're like, we're victims because we're gay, we're victims because we're black, we're victims because we're women, we're victims because of blah, blah, blah. And they really, this all still exists. I know Trump is dismantling the whole world of theirs now, but culturally, there's massive groups that are still just like this. And, Caitlyn Clark is absolutely perfect fucking current events fodder for them to just dive into all of those things. Oh my God, of course. We've been doing this for years, playing incredible fucking basketball, doing things Caitlyn Clark has never done ever. And she comes in, this white girl, this straight white girl from middle America with all those MAGA tards, and suddenly she's the face of the WNBA. It's fucking gross. And then they hate her. They hate her because they're woke and they're crazy, and they love telling themselves these crazy narratives about them being victims. And what better way to tell yourself you're a victim, even though you're one of the most successful WNBA players, than have a young cis white girl come in and be the face of the NBA that's much younger than you and less accomplished. You know, it's fucking hilarious. That kind of stuff I absolutely love. I can never get tired of watching those kinds of people melt down. It's just beautiful. I really love it. But Brock Purdy, man, 50 fucking million. I think that I would buy a $25 million house ish. I think I would regret it afterwards because it would be too big. I don't know if you guys have ever lived. If any of you guys chat, thank you, Tom. Have any of you guys ever lived in a house that was too big? I'll tell you why I asked that is because whenever I had ever heard people say they wanted to move because their house is too big, I always was like, okay, that's like a really weird thing to say. Wow, how can a house be too big? It's just more stuff and room that you have. Like, just use the rooms you want. You know what I mean? But when we lived in Utah in 2017, worst year of my life, but unrelated to that, the house, we rented it for nothing. It was in Utah in 2017. We were paying, I think like, I seriously, I think I want to say we were paying like $1,750 maybe, or like maybe $1,850. I don't know. I'll look it up. Definitely 100% less than like $2,400. Like $2,400 absolute most. And it was a 5-bedroom, 4,600 square foot house in Utah. And again, like that rent might sound like a lot of money to people, but like we were coming from California where for that exact same amount of money, I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna call it $2,000. That exact same amount of money, you're in like a duplex where we were coming from. And like, we got this massive fucking house, So the way the house is set up though is 3 stories. So the main story is the one that you walk in on is like, our master bedroom was down the hall. We had this huge open living room, kitchen, whatever. The kids' bedrooms were upstairs. And then downstairs, there were 3 other bedrooms with like a, I don't know, whatever, open area. Like it was like another living room. So the reason that's notable is because they were very compartmentalized from each other, the different parts of the house. And the energy in the downstairs part, because you never used it for anything. Like we didn't need it. You know what I mean? Like we just didn't need it. We had cool stuff down there. We had Xbox down there. We had fun stuff. I was just starting to start fooling around with like filming videos. That was all down there. But day to day, you had no reason to be down there. TV's upstairs, computers upstairs, everybody else upstairs. Like you just had no fucking reason to be there. And after literally probably like 2 months of being in this house, as soon as we'd walk downstairs, I'd be like, I don't fucking like it down here, man. Like you would never want to be down there because it has this like empty, stale feeling of like unused space in your like main residence. I don't know if I'm doing a good job describing this. If any of you guys have lived in a house that was too big and can validate what I'm saying so I don't sound totally fucking crazy, but it's weird, So anyways, you buy a $25 million house, which is, I said our house is too big when it was 5,000 square feet. So this would be 25,000 square feet. I don't even, what am I going to do? I guess I would have my own shooting range and a bunch of really fun stuff like that. But then the money just keeps on piling up, like just keep on stacking more and more and more and more and more and more. I mean, what the fuck are you going to do with it, dude? I'm serious. If you're not like a psycho who's trying to flex on people and has never had money, so you like think that now that you have money, you have to fly people on, fly all your friends on private jets every week. Like, I think that's how like Bieber and these guys rip through money is they've never had any. And then all of a sudden they have all the money in the world. And it's like, they just puke money out like I don't even have a metaphor for it, but like a regular person who like manages their finance like a regular person. And then all of a sudden they have $50 fucking million a year. What the hell are you going to buy? What are you going to do with it? Someone should ask Rogan, dude. If I ever end up doing Rogan's show, I absolutely promise you I will spend a significant portion of that time with us together. I'll get him to start talking about money, because I hate, it's one of my biggest pet peeves about society and how we do, like the things that we talk about is like, with very few exceptions, the pursuit, accumulation, and or loss of money is like the central thing in everyone's life. At least Even if like, you know, you're primarily focused on your job, your family, whatever, you're always thinking about money. Everyone is, you know, everyone is. Oh, Haji, sorry, I missed this. Don't you think you're being bigoted and unfair to young adults? They deserve to have condoms in the bathroom, and why not teach them safe sex? You're bad. No, I totally agree with you. They should. That's why their parents should teach it. What I'm talking about is it's invasive for the government, which are fucking strangers, dude, to be making any kind of decisions related to the upbringing of my children in the category of sex. It's pimple. As simple as that. It's as pimple as that, dude. It's as pimple as that, dog. Is that fucking gangster when I drop a mic drop and then I just call it, you know, make some nonsense words? But that's why. I'm not saying they shouldn't have access to condoms. I'm not saying that people shouldn't know about condoms. What I'm saying is even if I'm like, I trust all these people, it's not my place to tell like this Puritan family over here that I might think are fucking weirdos, but they're really in their house very, very serious about abstinence. I'm supposed to be like, hey, listen, okay, screw your religion and screw how you're living, okay? Tell your kids to suck it up and like, listen, if they don't want to have sex, they don't have to, okay? Did they miss Me Too class? The choice is theirs. But we do want to teach them that if they did want to have sex behind your back, they have protection to do so. I mean, it's just invasive, dude. You know what I mean? Anyway, so what I was saying though is like the pursuit and accumulation of money is the like central pursuit of literally every American or just human on earth. It's like basis of survival in, you know, modern society. And it's so fucking lame that like you can kind of know inherently that there are these experiences that people have had where they went from this to this. And I'm talking about finances. You know, it's like, what, dude, I want to have that conversation. Dude, what was that like? You know, so so you had, you know, you're doing good, but then you signed this contract, a $200 million contract. Like, do they just send you that? Like, how do you receive that much money? Do they give it to you all at once? They do it year over year. How are they paying you? And so like, what are like the final numbers coming in? I'm just trying to imagine my life if money like that's coming in. Like, I just think it's so stupid that people think it's like completely taboo to ever talk about money on the like people who have made it side, you know, because anybody like it's totally socially acceptable to talk about any kind of financial hardship that you've had because everybody's shared that experience. I mean, I understand people don't, it's like taboo because it's so disgusting. It's so disgusting and like just reprehensible when people who have a lot of money talk about having a lot of money in a completely non-productive way that is only meant to make poor people jealous. You know what I mean? Like that's so gross that I think people want to make that like they just rather society-wide just not even talk about what it's like to have money than ever have anyone interpret them as doing that maybe. But I'm interested. I want to know what the fuck that's like, dude. You know what I mean? So how much money did you have in the bank? And then that check comes in. So you're depositing a $12 million post-tax, you know, check. And what's the most money you'd ever had in the bank prior to that? I don't know, man. Maybe like 300 grand. You're like, so what'd you do, dude? Like, what do you even do? You know, you had 300 grand. And now you have 12 million. And what's it like the first time you look at your bank account and you have $100 million? You're like, it's like, does your brain still kind of process things the way that it does when you first start getting a little bit of money? Because anybody who's kind of gone through that process will notice things. It's not like you just prices, you just interpret them different. You know what I mean? Like your day-to-day experience is the same. Because in actuality, a $20,000 watch does exactly what a fucking $20 watch does. And so all of that stuff, like, oh, I want that thing. Okay, well, there's no like broader, larger inherent value in a fucking Rolex than a, you know, reliable $20 watch if it, you know, continued to tell time the same way. And if you really think about that in how we interpret the world and the things we want, whatever, okay, well, a $20,000 watch is fucking ludicrous. Why would anybody want that? And so my kind of question to a person like Rogan who actually understands humanity is like, you know, do you still find yourself finding things that you want that you can't afford? Because, I mean, you know, the list just gets much smaller of things you can't afford. Like, is your life experience different because you can buy all this expensive shit, or does it just become like day to day and then you start watching numbers on a screen pile up? You know what I mean? It's like, these are real people. These are real life experiences. Like, I want to be able to imagine what it's like to have $100 million so I can visualize it and like really see it and be like, okay, so this is what I would do with it. And by the way, if I ever ended up with $100 million, you guys, I will throw a shindig for all my day ones, which all of you guys, I would consider you guys day ones, especially if you could reference this live stream. And I will take us on the best fucking trip ever, dude. Okay? I'll pick like, I don't know. I haven't done this math yet, but I'll pick a lot of people. And I'll take us to like I'll rent out an all-inclusive resort and we'll just do it big. I will actually do that. I promise. You know who's not coming though? Hang on. You know who's not fucking coming? Okay, scrolling up. Just looking for someone who was trying to run their mouth. Damn it, you guys. There was no one like Jen Swick. Hey, Jesse, have you watched Dark Side of the Cage? I have. You're talking about the if you're talking about the the Vice documentary, I watched the first like half to 3/4 of the Fabio one. But I don't like a lot of those documentaries that are like dark side of MMA. I don't like that shit. I don't like looking at guys, you know, they pick the guys that are the most, you know, bad off in terms of like CTE, or they you know, slander Dana and the organization and they make them out like they're like the worst people ever. And I'm not interested in any of that. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm simultaneously not interested in any fucking puff pieces about them. You know, if on one side they're all Dana White secretly enjoys watching fighters go bankrupt while he counts their money and plays blackjack. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You know, just the fuck up, dude. No, he doesn't. Okay. And then on the flip side, they're like, Dana White's cock is constantly getting in the way while he's walking around in his bathrobe because it's so enormous. He has $10 billion and he spends that on whatever he wants. He tells everyone to go fuck themselves. He's the smartest, most incredible fight promoter in history. I'm like, this is boring too, dude. You know? Give me some Patrick Gavia. Give me some mixed Molly Whoppery. You know, like, I'm in for documentaries, like, but you got to move me emotionally. Dude, do you guys want to see, I want to show you the end of Patrick Gavia's Conor McGregor video. I'm not sure if this is like a really good idea because I think I've cried the last 3 times I watched this. So I'm not really looking forward. I'm not really looking for a reason to like cry, but I found this part that moving, dude. Like, let me see. Hang on. Okay, so at this point, by the way, if you guys are not subscribed to, if you're like Patrick Avia, bro, his documentaries are so fire, and he always tells these stories from the like in this like Shakespearean human tragedy way, which is how I've always seen the stories in the fight business. So I loved it. But so in this one, so Conor McGregor was a plumber's apprentice. This is true, like all true, right? He was a plumber's apprentice, and his dad was a plumber, and his dad wanted him to, you know, work. Like his dad's like, this is how you can make a living. Conor did it for a couple of years, and at a certain point, Conor's like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm gonna pursue my dreams to become a professional fighter and the UFC world champion. There had never been I don't even know if there's anyone from Ireland in the UFC, but definitely there had never been a star, like a breakout star. And this was like, they go through it much, you know, it goes through it much longer in this documentary, which you should all watch. But like, we're not talking like small, like conflict. We're talking like years of like, even as Conor's winning in fights, his dad wouldn't talk to him. They'd scream at each other, throw shit at each other. His dad was that upset about Conor, you know, derailing his life in this way. And, you know, it's coming from a place of love. He doesn't want Conor to end up being 35 years old, brain damaged, and now can't even be a plumber. you know? So, but it was like that heavy. And then now I'll show you.
As Conor climbs the ranks of Cage Warriors, things take a dark turn. His father gets diagnosed with cancer.
He went through a tough time as well because he...
Oh, shit, hang on. I missed it. Jesse, serious question. Would you rather her have the best burger in the world with fries or 1 hour with Rogan's penis through a glory hole? What do I get out of his penis through a glory hole? That's a super weird question, bro. Okay? You think I'm like, if I do a really, hey, Joe, I know it's you. If I do a really good job, can I be on your show? What do you say, pal? He's all, are you a man? Yes. He's like, I was here for a woman. So the answer's no, and you're not even going to get a shot. I'm like, Jesus. I shouldn't have said anything. And the other thing was her with the best burger in the world with fry. Is that like supposed to be the setup for the punchline? I don't even understand that first part. That's super weird, bro. Lazy Prophet says, too broke to super chat. Okay, so I just, listen. I'm just going to point out that this person who's going to say all this nasty shit right here starts it off with, I'm too broke to super chat. Fine. Jesse, all caps, take your kratom. Take your Adderall, brother, and less kratom. You're always all over the place. Jesus Christ. So, Lazy Prophet. Let's have a conversation. First of all, your name of your user handle, which you chose, is Lazy. Okay, so that's part one. I'm guessing that might have something to do with the fact that you're too broke to super chat. Also, this is what you send me. Take your Adderall, brother, less kratom. You're always all over the place. What on earth would make you think that you're in a position to tell me what I should put in my body? Okay? You wouldn't have the fucking first idea of what I do or don't do, okay? I did a speedball off of a midget in the bathroom today in between Giselle's fights, and no one knew, okay? The midget had really bomb shit. I went right over to the mat, and I cheered for my daughter winning. She thought everything was kosher, and I was totally sober. In reality, I had been smashing together pharmaceutical-grade cocaine and heroin at the same time. So, thanks for outing me to everybody. Just kidding, you guys. I don't even know why I did that, because it's like, oh, go ahead and clip that, guys. You know, hey, all you guys with the really magnetic focus on my channel looking for things that you can take out of content. That's a pretty good one, dude. That's a pretty good one. Jesse on Fire admitted to doing a speedball off of a midget while at a jiu-jitsu tournament and cheering for his daughter while on Smack and Blow. You're going to watch this guy give you advice on life, huh? What advice is he going to give you? Where to find a midget? Okay? Where to get some smack and some blow and then do it at the same time while you pretend to be a good father, huh? Is that the kind of man you want to get advice from? That's how fucking dope those channels are. I don't even remember. I think a speedball was blow and heroin. And the only reason I even know that is because that's what River Phoenix died of. Like, that's the only reason I even knew I ever heard of a speedball. It was like speedball killed River Phoenix. And I'm like, a speedball? I'm looking it up. I'm just making sure. A speedball in 93. Speedball is a street term for a combination of cocaine and heroin. Wow. What an incredible memory I have. I come on here and I'm like, what's the word I was looking for? Pink. I couldn't remember pink. And somehow I remember the exact drug cocktail of what a speedball is, which I learned 93. So what's that, 500 years ago? Excellent work, Jesse on Fire. Where did I get my midget? I got it where everyone gets their midgets. There's a midget sharing app. It's called, I don't know. But there's like a sharing app for everything now. The car sharing app thing, I can't remember the name of it, that someone showed me a couple months ago. That's badass, dude. My buddy Aaron, who I met through the channel actually, he came up to Six Blades to train, and he was driving a fucking ridiculous whip, and I was like, "That's your car?" You know? Jesus. Do you make $50 million a year or something, guy? And he's like, "No, man, I use this app." And then like I looked at you can rent like a Cybertruck for like this was right before we were about to go to Miami. We didn't end up renting a car anyway, but I was like, "Dope, we could get a Cybertruck for $500 for the weekend, or like $600 for the weekend." It seems extremely cheap to me, but you know, people set their own pricing or whatnot. Jesse, how come it seems like they work harder at promoting Brittany Griner over Caitlyn Clark? I mean, listen, dude. And John Swick, check out Catching Lightning doc Lee Murray. Catching Lightning doc Lee Murray. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. I've seen this. I've seen that. I was like, Lee Murray, I definitely have watched that. Yeah. 100% I've watched that. It's awesome. And just an absolutely insane story. Lee Murray is the UFC fighter. You guys that pulled off that heist that was like the biggest heist ever. They I think they got away with like, I don't even remember, an outlandish amount of money. They stole, I feel like it was like 80 million or something like that. Because they sold it, they basically stole it from the UK Central Bank. Lee Murray, how much cash did these motherfuckers steal? 53 million pounds. Goddamn. That is insane. There was more than $250 million in cash at the depot. They ran out of room. Dude. 90 million? Oh, yeah. So it was 92 million. It was $92 million at the time. That is so crazy. Can you imagine if those guys would have just been like absolute stone professionals? And I mean like all of them. All of them had it just buttoned up, airtight. You know, you do that job, you find a good place to hide this shit. You have, let's say, 3-4 of the most rock solid guys ever. And it turned out they wouldn't have even needed that many, you know. But let's say you had 4 guys and they're all just as solid as you. You pull that job off and you go put that money somewhere and you do not even look at it for a year. Hide it. Don't look at it. No one buys a single fucking thing. Nothing. Because you're not even touching the cash. Not $1 of it. Not $1. Every single, it is literally pieces of paper. You stole pieces of paper from a place. You are transporting pieces of paper to another place. Okay? All you have to do is find a place that you can hide that big bulk of paper for, call it 12 to 18 months while things cool off before you start making moves. Like, that shouldn't be hard if everyone is rock solid. Don't say a fucking word about it to anyone. No one. You spend none of the money. You never talk about it, not to each other, not to anyone else. You have a day on, maybe you could talk to each other in very, selective, circumstances that you've vetted out, but like, they should have been able to pull this off, The problem is that they had a bunch of the problem with almost all these crews is they always have retards. They always somewhere along the lines use retards, right? There's always a retard. All it takes is one fucking retard. One in any of these organizations or any of these like robberies, whatever, one. And it's over. Okay? These guys It's like, honestly, I don't know why that story that's like kind of where my brain goes. It's aggravating me. They should have walked, like they should have got that money, you know, like the story's much better if they got the money instead of Lee Murray. They got the money, went to, you know, whatever. And now he's been in prison for fucking whatever. 2006. So he's been in jail for 20 years in Morocco. Everyone else has done their time and they're out. It's insane, dude. He tried to get, he ended up too smart for his own good. What's the movie called? How did you say that total? Like 20 years ago, Lee Murray, that's what we're talking about. But again, they had retards. You know, like if you watch, what's that movie with Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck, God damn, The Town. So like if you take The Town guys, remove the fact that they are one of the most well-known armed robbery gangs in the world. Just like visualize that, except they're not people who are on all the FBI radars. They pull off a job like that disciplined, whatever. They never touch money, dude, you get away with it. Anthony DeAngelis, thank you very much, dude. Did you get my email about Tucker Carlson's podcast interviewing the vaccine attorney? I saw that come in, but I was at the tournament, so I haven't read it yet, but I'll look at it. He references work they did in California, the very issues you had with mandating vaccines in your daughter's schools. I appreciate you sending that to me. I will definitely look at that for sure. But yeah, I did see that notification come in. I just you know, jiu-jitsu tournaments are amazing. I fucking love them, mostly because the jiu-jitsu community is the best community on earth. But there's always a lot going on. Like if you're not watching a fight, you're running to a fight, or you're rapping out with people that you don't see that often. It's like there's just, you know, device responsiveness is not going to be your strong suit there. My dad is asking for the girls' fights. I sent them to them. Okay, what else? Jesse, whoops, we already got that one. Giggle Puff Mafia, what's up, dude? I'm from the area, and everyone who was about it knew it was Murray and Paul right away. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. If like in a community like that, you like that's such a fucking brazen gangster ass crime. Like that, like this. I would imagine there can't be like that big of a list of people that you're like that are hardcore, like to actually even attempt to pull that off. The crazy thing is when when you learn about the case, they just walked in and walked out. There's nothing to it. My favorite part of the story, though, really is that they underestimated how much money they left 200 million pounds there because they couldn't fit it in the truck. So crazy, dude. When I'm looking at my focus, I'm reading your guys' chats, by the way. Do you think Destiny was plugged up on your debate? Oh my God. I'm not talking about him anymore. So I do that sometimes where like, I mean, listen, I stand by everything I said in the videos, but sometimes like I get all aggro about like something and then I just kind of spaz out on videos and I'm like, that's probably enough. You know what I mean? They hit certain like, you know, emotional centers that I kind of like wig out. And then afterwards I'm like, maybe I should have sat that one out, you know? I don't know if I necessarily needed to weigh in on that. Yeah, the brawl with Murray and Tito and all those fighters in the back alley in England was hysterical. Yeah, dude. You got the UFC champion gets starched by a street fighter who's an up-and-coming MMA fighter. It's like the fact that those two guys never got to fight in the UFC is a fucking tragedy. If you know, and the reason why that happened is because right before Lee Murray was going to fight Tito, he got in a self-defense shooting where he fucking shot a person. I think he killed them, actually. And so he lost his what do you call it? His like ability to travel, his passport or whatever. And I mean, listen, also the UFC, as much as you know, they look like, you know, they work like, you know, they're like corporate business. But to be in that business, you gotta, you know, I mean, like, you know, you're not unfamiliar with the dirt. That said, okay, if you're like, oh, I've heard, you know, you hear about this guy. Oh, hey, that guy, he's legit, knocked out Tito. He's like, you know, he's like organized crime here too. It's like, that's a cool story, you know, something you'd really build some hype around. The second that you're about to book a fight with him and he shoots someone in the street, and whether it ends up being self-defense or not, you're like, this guy's too much of a problem. Like, I'm not putting this guy around me. He's a fucking live wire loose cannon. You know, I already heard this guy's fucking crazy in the street. He killed a guy. I'm good. I think we're just going to go with like, you know, Ken Shamrock. Murray knocked out Tito on the street. Tito lied about getting knocked out. Yeah, Tito said that he got hit hard, but just got dazed. I don't know, whatever. Everybody else who was there said that he got hit with a shot and, you know, crumpled. Tito's head is big. It'd be a really tough target to miss. That's one of the very first, like, I saw Tito right, like, at in his prime when I was in Vegas, and I was young. I was like, I'd probably just turned 21. And Tito was at, it was right when did the Wynn open, actually? When did Wynn Las Vegas open? 2005. Yep. So I was young. Like, but anyway, I saw him, and he's one of the most memorable people, like celebrities I've ever seen, because even if you had never heard of him or known who he was, whatever, the guy's head is so big that you're like, maybe that's not a human after all. Maybe that's some kind of alien wearing a human head suit, because his head to body ratio is kind of weird, you know? Do you think Trump will release the Bigfoot files? Oh, God, I hope so. I mean, if we're being honest, if I had to itemize the reasons that I supported him as a candidate, it was like, A, you know, I was forced out of my home in California by the opposing party. B, Dana White said he's a good candidate. He's known him for 20 years and he trusts him. And C, I could see exactly what the other side was doing and, you know, all that. And then D, but this was the big one, maybe we get to find out about Bigfoot, you know? Maybe we can all finally get some real answers on what matters. Okay? How are we supposed to just focus on the things that we need to do to take care of our families if we don't know whether there is a 10 to 12 foot half man, half gorilla running around in the forest in some obscure state, which no one has ever had any proof of interacting with? It's like, I don't know, man. I think searching for Bigfoot's really important. And I say that just because I honestly, Bigfoot is one of those ones I'm just like, I don't understand this one at all. Like, why does anybody give a fuck about this? Like, I understand the aliens one. I'm an alien one for sure. The alien one is like, when people tell me they're not interested in whether or not aliens are visiting the United States or the planet, I'm like, you're crazy. Like, we don't all have to agree on, having the same interest. But if you think that's not interesting, you're fucking psycho to me. And you want to know what? I'm going to call him out on the channel right now. My fucking dad is one of those guys. He's so dismissive of aliens. Like, and I'm not talking about like whether or not they're here. He just doesn't give a fuck, like, at all. Like, if we found out that there was like a extraterrestrial, civilization that had been, popping in to check on us. Actually, if there was if he knew for 1,000% sure it was real, then I take that back. He would probably behave differently. But barring him having to handshake an alien, he thinks that he just is like doesn't care, which I just think is bananas. I think that's literally like the most fascinating thing ever. I'm reading things. Yeah, sarcasm. This would be a rough day for people who are not able to pick up when I'm being sarcastic, Jesse on Fire did a speedball in the bathroom while his daughter was warming up for jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's only a matter of time. Starts with speedballs, ends with gay sex on speedballs in bathrooms. Wait a minute. Did he say speedball in the bathroom? Jesus. I always knew the guy was a deviant, but now we know he's a gay speedball deviant. We've had enough of this guy. That's why I made this video calling him out. Bigfoot is the second coming of Jesus. He showed up like, fuck this place. I don't want to get crucified again. And so I'll grow out my hair and I'll hide in the woods. That is possible. That is possible. Jesse's not interested in Sasquatch because Rogan isn't. Of course. I can only find connective tissue between the things we're interested in if I already know what he's interested in, and then I pretend I'm interested in those things and I say I don't care about the things he doesn't care about. Because that increases the likelihood that he's going to see me and be like, oh my God, me and Jesse are kindred spirits. Either that or I literally just say exactly what's on my mind 100% of the time with no thought whatsoever. And in some cases, it overlaps with Rogan. I actually didn't even know. I thought Rogan did like a show about Bigfoot. I know he said that like the people who were Bigfooters were fucking crazy. But I'm saying like, I really am just like, who cares? That to me is who cares. Also, I realize it's coming from, obviously it's not fucking real. Okay. It's all based on this video that's been like, that thing is a dude in a gorilla suit. And the Loch Ness Monster is a fucking thing that floats that a dude took out there and took a picture of. It's unfortunate. Like, nobody loves this stuff more than me. But I mean, let's be real. MMA Jackoff, what's up, man? What's up, my guy? I have heard so much shit is going on, but I believe nothing until you do a video, bro. I don't, if anybody wants a blueprint for how to be the best Jesse on Fire interaction vehicle as a viewer, MMA Jagoff. Thank you for being so supportive. It never gets old. So the Jeffrey Epstein thing, just so we're clear, is a forthcoming story because the story is that it is in final approval to get released, the Black Book. And really where I started this was just saying, I want to know what these people did, Like if they rode on Jeffrey Epstein's plane and Jeffrey Epstein played dirty movies for them, that he's like, hey, check out this pornographic film that I'm producing. And then they were like, okay, this is weird. And they get off the plane. I don't want to judge them as if they had sex with a child versus got entrapped into a weird situation with this creepo. One of the most interesting